everybody's doing great on this fabulous Valentine's Day. And I just wanted to wish every one of y'all a happy Valentine's Day out there. Okay, so my thought, I am going to try to attempt a bloom. I have been watching video after video after video for the last 2 days on top of doing some stuff behind scenes. I'm not going to quite announce it yet because I don't know how it's going to pan out. So until I know for sure, I don't want to jinx myself. I just pulled this mold out of its packaging. Okay, so my thought, I watched so many videos. I don't even remember who. I think it was I think it's her, she pronounces it Nanika or Nanika. I think it was her that I kind of got this idea from, so it wasn't my idea, so shout out to her. And I'll also link her video in the description box. Now, however, I'm doing mine just a tad bit different. I am gonna do my little things here. I'm gonna paint them black. Okay. I originally was gonna go with red and gold, but I've got something else I want to do with that. So I am gonna put the red and white crushed glass. Now this is glass that I've done, that I've made just from stuff. I'm gonna put that in the bottom of this and hope I'm not gonna be sorry about doing that, because it is kind of, some of it is kind of clear and some of it's red, but nonetheless, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna paint this, all this with black, with the Let's Resin black holographic, their new one. And then I am going to use my Eyecandy, and I think I want to use this one. I don't know why that's screaming Valentine to me, and I'm trying to get, and it's called, this is the Yamagata Red. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, Jeff. If I'm not, correct me on it. So that is the plan for this. So I'm going to start getting this painted, and then I'm going to get my resin mixed up. I do have some new silicone tools here, and I'm going to see how well these do with painting. So I'm not making such a huge mess. With these, I just want to see how well it's going to work. I'll let y'all see it, and if it works good, then I'm going to shut the camera off, and I will get into painting this, and then I will come back after I get the resin mixed up, and then we'll be ready to pour. All right, so let's see how well these silicone brush things here are going to work. I'm hoping they're going to work real well so I don't make such a big mess. Oh, I can tell you right now, these suckers ain't going to work. Not for what silicone and silicone don't really. Yeah, that's going to leave marks. I'm not going to use that. Okay, so let me get this painted. I've got my resin over here heating up, and I'll get it mixed up. And of course, on a bloom, if there is anyone new, I have done blooms in the past, so you can go back and watch, some of my older videos, and you will know how to do a bloom, which you'll see how I'm going to do it. But just let me get this painted. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Let me get all this painted, and then I will get the resin mixed up, and then I'll be back. I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, so I've decided to just use my Promise tabletop. I know it's kind of yellow, so my plan, because otherwise you will see the yellow, I don't really know that it's going to make that big of a difference because it's not that. I haven't had this very long either. I don't know why it's already turned yellow, but anyway. Okay, so my plan, I'm going to put the glass down in here. I really wanted to use gold flake, but I think it would float up. So my next thing is maybe silver. I really like this Aurora gold though around, but the I don't know. I've got to do something to go around the edge, but this being kind of a yellow tinge, I've got to have something to go around the outside. And I've got to get something to go with the red, which, basically all these colors here will go with red. But I'm looking for something that will go with, more of a Valentine's color. Which I didn't want to do gold because I'm doing gold in another one. But to go with red without turning it pink, can't do white. I don't know. I'm still up in the air about that. I'm gonna see how yellow that really is. If anything else, I may have to go with something different, and then maybe figure out, and then I'll have to let it sit till it gets, to the right temperature. But however, and that may be what I need to do without having to use that, because I don't. So I have my Let's resin here. Make sure that's not yellow. I haven't had any of these for very long, so okay, so this thing holds 7 ounces. So I'm gonna go ahead and do I'll have to split this up so I can get my because I want to get my stones down in there. And it may not take long for this to get to a certain temp, since I've had it on the heat. I just put it on my heat mat instead of putting it on my, I still haven't hooked up my other seedling mat yet, because I've got to move everything around, and I just put everything on the shelves where I wanted it to go, and now I've got to move everything around again. So I'm just gonna do this. and hopefully it'll reach temp before too long. I'm just going to stir this by hand because I'm going to get where did my where'd my stick go? That's okay, I can get another one. But now I'm just going to stir it by hand since I'm going to put it in the vacuum chamber anyway. Which I really don't. I mean, it really, with fast set, it really don't do much good because it's still going to have a ton of bubbles in it. I'm just trying to get rid of some of this resin that I have. I have so much from getting different resins, you know, to try them out. So, you know, people that are new, you know, and they're on a budget, they have alternatives that they can, you know, use instead of, you know, getting the higher priced, you know, epoxy. That there is actually epoxies out there that are a lot more affordable and still work. J Diction is one. Bondcrafter is amazing, and they're super inexpensive. And I do have a discount code in the description box. I've always got my discount codes linked in the description. But Bondcrafter is super inexpensive, and they've really got a good product. Let's see. J Diction is one that's very inexpensive. I mean, it works. Don't get me wrong. I just like Bondcrafter better. I don't know why. I do. And I like Let's Resin, but my go-to is Bondcrafter. And it's just, and I guess because it's so inexpensive, you know, that you can afford it. And I'm not just saying that just because, you know, they're an affiliate, but it's because they are so much cheaper than Let's Resin. Let's Resin's gotten a little pricey since I first started using them. So I don't buy very much Let's Resin brand anymore. Unless they have it, you know, if they run it on sale, yeah. Because of course I don't get a discount code with them. And Bondcrafter's been really good to me. So, you know, they're really my go-to for, you know, resin. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what. There's another brand that's super inexpensive. It's called Shabib or Shababe or something like that. I don't know. It's a real funny name, but them, and I'll have to get you the name of some of the other ones. Let's see. Okay, so this for the red, and red and black is really all I have. So I just need to put my things in this, which really I don't even need. Do I want to do silver, guys? You know, I think I'm going to use a red interference since I'm using this. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'll use this because it's a sparkle. It's a sparkle interference. And this will be my outside area. And I don't need much of that. And then the rest is all going to be... Oh, wait a minute. No. Yeah, I do have to have... Okay. So that'll be for my red. That'll be for my interference. And then I've got to get my stones in here if that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to use and this is real, and I do mean real crushed glass. This isn't some, this isn't a glass that's, you know, been tempered and all that. This is actually real crushed glass. I'm going to add some of this in here to this so it's not touching the bottom of my mold, because I don't want that touching my mold. And then of course the rest of this goes in here. But I'm going to get this, I want to get this glass in here first because I want to make sure that I have my proper amount there that I need. But no, I actually crushed this glass here myself. And I'm hoping that it goes down in. I mean, it's going to go down in there because I'm going to make it go down in there, but I just wanted some of this red and white crushed glass. To go with my Valentine's theme. I guess I should have. I didn't realize it was this fine of a glass. But I'm going to try to push it down in without interrupting my black, hopefully. I didn't realize it was this super fine. I thought maybe it was a little bit more chunkier than what it is. And it probably would be if I would have sifted. But of course I didn't sift. So I'm going to go with what I got here. But I can get it down in there. No big deal. But I should have mixed it. And I had thought about mixing it. Oops. With my resin. And I thought, I'm not going to. It's not going to be that bad. Yeah, I should have went with my gut. But it's not that bad though, really. Trying to get some of them bigger chunks though. But yeah, this is, I didn't get this off of Amazon or anything like that. I did this glass myself. I got into the habit of, I was wanting to start doing something, you know, and I wanted to do some glass work, and I just started buying glass, and I bought a tumbler turner, you know, a tumbler machine for tumbled glass, and I just started buying glass and crushing it up, and I've got tons of different colored glass, and I've got mosaic tiles and just all kinds of different random things that, and the reason, I'll tell you the reason why I did it. I've got some old windows, and I have always wanted to do the window thing, and I wanted to do that, and so that's what made me get into the glass side of it, because I've been wanting to do my windows that I have, and I never got around to doing them, and still hadn't got around to doing them. Now, there's probably not a whole lot of glass down in here, but that's fine. I don't really want, you know, a whole lot. Just enough really to give it a little bit of color. But if y'all are going to deal with real glass, just be careful, because it will cut. I was going to use I think I already told you that. I was wanting to use the uh, full flakes, but I knew that right there in itself would be, you know, a floater. So I knew I didn't want to do that after but I should have, I think, put this in the resin itself, is what I should have done, because this is kind of floating now itself. I mean, I don't think it'll look bad. It'll give it a little bit of color, which would be pretty. I may add a little tiny more in spots. I need to see where I need it. Let's see. Maybe a little bit right in here. A little bit right there. And it actually looks pretty good though. Just trying to get a little bit more of those red pieces in places that need it. I think these were those, if I'm not mistaken, I think these might have been those, you know, the little round medallion things you can get. I think that's what these were. I think they came in red and white, or red and clear. And all I did was just, you can put them in the, that's a big shard of glass right there. You can put them on your stove in a pan, and you can heat them up. And then you take them and put them in ice water, and they will just bust. And then you just take the rest of them of what you want. Like, if you want them smaller, you know, in smaller pieces, you just take it and make them however small you want. With, you know, you can kind of bust them up with a hammer, or because they're really easy once you put them on the stove and then you put them in the ice and they crack. They're really easy then to just bust with a hammer. But that's all I did. And you can get these from the Dollar Tree. They have them now. I don't know about the red and the white color, but I got these from a local shop where I go to my doctor, and they have a little shop that I go to when I go to the doctor, and I go in there and pick up stuff. They have all kinds of neat little stuff, and that's where I got these at, the red and the white. They had a pink and a white and a pink and a beige. Oh God, they had some real pretty ones. Okay, so my resin's getting thick, so I'm gonna get a spend a little extra time on that glass that I probably shouldn't have done, because it's definitely getting warm on me. If this turns out the way I have it in my head, it's going to be really stinking cute. If it turns out the way I have it in my head. However, it is kind of floating to the top a little bit. Some of the smaller which is fine. I mean, it's still going to work. It's going to mix in with the colors that I'm putting in, so it'll be fine. But I do want to go ahead and get my colors going, because I should have done that first, I think. The blooms, they they tend to get away from me sometimes because I dilly-dally, I guess you could say. Oh, that one don't go on there. This goes on there. But yeah, I haven't used this glass, and I thought, well, now would be the perfect time to use it because I've got so much of it. Okay, now another thing she did, let me get the interference in here first, because I don't think it's going to take. I hope I didn't put too much in there, and it may, and I don't know, I may have too much in that, because I really don't have but one color going in that. Oh, I thought I had all my sticks out. Okay, let me go ahead and mix this. Yeah, it's definitely getting warm on me. I probably should have split it up in a couple of cups. I hope this is open. Of course it's not. Why would it be? Ouch. Now I'm hoping this black. Now y'all, I'm not the bloom queen, okay? By no means am I the queen of blooms. I've never done it. No, I said I was going to use this bottom one. That's the one I want to use. Well, I can't say I've never done it because I have. That's too much. I know it is. Because I want it to float. Don't want it to sink. I know that. Yeah, I've done it one time. Oh, yeah, this is getting real warm in my hand. I've got to get going. Plus, I still got to put an extra. I got to put a paste in that too. And I'm going to use this right here. Oh, come on, I need a skinny stick. There we go. Don't need much paste, but you need a little bit. I guess the paste is what helps it bloom. I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and pour this. And this goes around the out. And it's probably not going to take this whole 7 ounces because of the fact that I have that glass in here. So I'm hoping I'm not fixing to run this over. Because that is something I don't want to do. But I want to get my bloom in here. And I'm hoping I put enough paste in here is what I'm hoping. All we can do is cross our fingers and pray to the resin gods that it works the way I want it to work. And I should have done this before I put that other in here. See, I told y'all, I'm not good at blooms at all. If it's planned, you can forget it. I can't do it. Don't ask me what this wiggly stuff is. And I generally don't pour out of a cup either. So, I know we got to get rid of these blobs. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to sit down so I can see if I'm close to no, I'm not close to the top. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do this spiral. And some people just do this too. So that's what I think I will. I don't know how this is going to turn out, y'all. Honestly. It's just something that I thought was really pretty. And of course, too, she did hers in a round tray. And of course, I did mine. Okay, we're back. Alright, so time to demold this. I know I need to do a back coat on it, but right now I'm just going to demold this, and then I'll get a back coat on it. Because I don't really know what color I want to put on it quite yet. I'm liking these little molds, though, I can tell you that. What is that? That piece of resin stuck for some reason. Okay, y'all ready? It definitely needs either a trim or a back coat, so more than likely I'll probably put a back coat on it. Not sure yet. I just got to get this finished. Did you guys, I posted in the community photos. So I made some molds, which these actually have turned out. I'm really impressed and really shocked. I'm just like over the moon and elated that these actually worked. And I've been all morning, that's why this video may be a little late. I've been all morning looking for a 3D printer. So, without further ado, I like the sides. The sides turned out pretty good. Not really caring too much. That black just didn't, that black chrome powder's just not black enough. So I'm not impressed with the black chrome. And that's what we got. Which doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's kind of pretty. I actually think that probably would have bloomed if I would have left it alone. But I don't know. I think it's kind of pretty though. It's kind of three-dimensional. I've got to put a top coat on it. And I like how the glass came around. That mold is like really dull looking for some reason. I don't know why, unless it's the epoxy, but I wouldn't think that tabletop epoxy is that dull, but that's really dull. To me it is. I don't know about you guys, but to me it just looks dull. But yeah, everything turned out really pretty though. I mean, I'm relatively shocked. Everything is smooth. So I'm really glad how all that turned out. So I had thought about doing a thing in the center, you know, like a DTF sticker, but I really don't think I want to do that. I think I want to keep it the way it is and just throw a top coat and a back coat on it. And I don't even know if I even want to do a back coat. It's kind of pretty. I don't know what's the deal with these bubbles. And this stuff was on the heat deal for several hours, so I know it was warm enough. I just don't know why it didn't and I popped the bubbles, but yeah, I don't know why it does what it's doing. My humidity and my temperature in here is good, so I don't get, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna put a top coat on here. I'm probably just gonna use the 1 hour fast cure. Well, no, I'm not either, because it's yellow. Great. I need to put my fast cure bond crafter over here on this heat mat too. I've got to get my other heat mat going and I'm waiting on this other one to dry. So I will probably do a Let's Resin fast coat on this. So just stay tuned for those photos. I'm either gonna back coat this, and I may put a dark pink or even a red background on it. I don't know what other color, or I could do black, since this didn't turn out very black. I mean, it looks like it did on this side, just not around the edges. And I don't know if it's because of that interference powder that I put in here. Kind of made it that color. I mean, it's pretty, but so I may do a black back coat. I think that's probably what I'll do. And then I'm going to do a clear top coat on this, because like I said, it's kind of dull and it has marks. I don't know why when we buy molds we can't get them to where there's, they're not all scratched up. Because, we pay a pretty good penny for these molds. And you can see how scratched up it is. That's just disheartening, but okay. So anyway, let me get some resin poured. I'll get a top coat on it. I've got to let my resin warm up though, guys. So, Bond Crafter sent me some black epoxy to try too. But I need to try it. So, it is right here. The black resin. Okay. So let me get this on the heat mat, because it's been sitting here and it's cold. And I will get the back coat and the top coat on it, and I will see you guys in the next video. And don't forget, the drawing is this Wednesday, so make sure y'all get your entries in by at least Monday afternoon. See you later. Bye.